What's good, y'all? I already know where y'all at. It's your boy Star Jones, and it's a new episode of Star Views. It's about to start right now. So please, I hope you got your hookah ready, and I hope you got your cups full of whatever ready, because I got a lot to talk about, alright? Know what's going on. Star Jones, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Please and thanks, you heard? Good, folks. It's your man Star Jones. I'm back, man. It's another episode of Star Views. See my guy Bruce Wayne back there. You know he like to really be a part of these DC episodes. You get what I'm saying? Tonight we're gonna be talking about Suicide Squad, 2021. I put emphasis on 2021 because we had a Suicide Squad that came out back in 2016. Now that movie was not that good. I rewatched it and I was like, it wasn't as terrible as I remember, but it also wasn't much better. So that's that. So now I'm sure you guys are probably asking, what's the difference if that movie was the Suicide Squad or Suicide Squad, and this is the Suicide Squad? Well, James Gunn is directing the one that came out this past weekend, and this is a slight reboot, kind of. James Gunn made it a point of saying that the events of the first Suicide Squad did happen, but it's kind of like forgotten about. Even like the characters in the film, like it's like it happened, but it didn't happen. Like kind of sort of. So this is kind of like of a reboot slash standalone slash canon movie. So for those who don't know what canon is, that means it's in the universe. It happened. If it's not canon, that means it didn't happen, and it has no what effect on a continuity of the franchise or any other movies under the DC umbrella, DCEU umbrella. So with that said, I'm gonna go get me a drink, and when I come back, we're gonna talk about exactly what transpired in the film and all that. You feel what I'm saying? So I'll be back in a second. No, I'm not smoking hookah tonight. It's been an extremely long weekend with hookah, and my lungs need a break. So please don't be mad at me. Y'all get right how y'all get right, and yeah, I'll be back in a second. Need some drinking with y'all, right? So here we are, Suicide Squad. So we have the repeat offenders from the first film. We got Harley Quinn, Colonel Rick Flag, Boomerang, Amanda Waller. Those four characters are who we've seen in the first film that came out in 2016. They spun back and got recasted for the new one in 2021. The slight soft reboot slash standalone. Right? So now the movie opens up. We get to see a character by the name of Savant. He's in a jail cell, and then we're immediately introduced to Amanda Waller. Amanda Waller is again the boss, so to speak. She's the one that pretty much gives our Suicide Squad their mission and tells them what needs to happen. And in the event that they complete their mission successfully, they get 10 years taken off their sentence. So as she explains this, she walks around the jail. We get to see a bunch of other DC characters and villains, whether they be from the Flash, Superman, Batman, etc. So that was cool to see. All right. The movie really wastes no time getting into the action. Really wastes no time. After immediately telling Savant what it is, yo, this is what you're doing. You're getting 10 years off your sentence. Boom, they on the beach and all hell breaks loose. Um, so pretty much the premise of the film is the Suicide Squad going into this Hispanic country and trying to destroy this tower, right? This particular tower that the government that they said Amanda Waller spins it talking about, oh, well, that country is doing experiments on human beings and they have no business doing it. It's inhumane, blah, blah, blah. We need you to go in there and destroy it, knock it down. And they're working on something called Starfish. Make sure Starfish is completely destroyed. All right? So, pretty much as the movie unfolds, the Suicide Squad team are broken into two teams. You had Team A, you had Team B. Team A gets decimated. I won't tell you what members of Team A are, but Team A gets decimated, and pretty much Team B is the only team left. And then Harley Quinn gets kidnapped. This is not a spoiler because this is in the trailers. So Harley Quinn gets kidnapped, and now, aside from just blowing up the tower that they're conducting these wild experiments, and they also have to save Harley Quinn. So that's pretty much the movie. They save. Well, I won't tell you how it happens, but you know what I'm saying? They got to get Harley Quinn, and you see Harley Quinn pretty much on her own for the most part in the film, because again she's by herself. She was a part of Team A, and Team A, like I told you, got decimated, got wiped out, crazy. So that's that. Um, and then again, like I said, so this is 2 hours and about two. I think it's 2 hours and 2 minutes. Yeah, nonstop action. They don't waste no time. Very bloody, very gory. Um, if if I would not suggest this for kids, period. I know usually I tell you guys at the end whether or not I tell you to see it or not, but this is not for children unless you're cool with your children just seeing a whole bunch of blood and guts and super wild violence. Then yeah, be my guest. But other than that, I don't think this is a kids movie at all. But again, that's pretty much the movie in a nutshell. It's pretty much the Suicide Squad going on to this Hispanic country, going there to destroy this tower that, again, that they're doing inhumane things to human beings, and ultimately saving Harley Quinn because again she gets cut off from the rest of the group. So again, that's the movie. When I come back, I'm gonna actually let you guys know pros, cons, rating, whether or not you guys should see it. Those four things. My favorite part of the show. So I'll be right back. Like I said, when I get back, we're gonna get right to it, and I'm gonna let you guys know how I feel. All right. So I'll be back in a second. So pros and cons. I'm gonna start with the pros. Um, it's always a good thing when I see Margot Robbie portraying Harley Quinn. I think she just does an amazing job of playing Harley Quinn. Like when I think, because again, I watch Harley Quinn. I watch a TV show, the animated series. I watched the Batman series when I was little, and Harley Quinn was always a character that stood out. When I read the comics, Harley Quinn is always this personality on the pages. So it's like when I envision a live action Harley Quinn, Margot Robbie is the epitome of that. She just does an amazing job. And I probably stress it a lot, but it's just the truth. You know what I'm saying? It's just the truth. She really knocks that role out the park. So that's one of the biggest pros. And I think alone, because of Margot Robbie's portrayal of Harley Quinn, is what keeps DCEU alive. I'm not even going front. If it wasn't for her and people loving her as Harley Quinn, I think DC would be in a really, really worse place than where they are currently, as far as the DCEU is concerned. DCEU being DC's cinematic universe. All right. So yeah, Margot Robbie's portrayal of Harley Quinn is definitely one of the biggest pros of the whole Suicide Squad movie. Idris Elba. I think Idris Elba's character, Deadshot, Bloodsport, excuse me, made us forget about Deadshot. Deadshot being the character Will Smith played in the 2016 film. I know a lot of people out there were probably like, well, where's Will Smith? He was in the first one. He wasn't in it due to scheduling issues. At least that's what I saw, what I read. So it wasn't that he was against being in Warner Brothers film. It was just a schedule conflict. So Idris Elba was brought in originally to play Deadshot, but um, they was like, you know what? We have a good relationship with Will Smith. Let's have Idris play someone else. And I think Idris knocked that role out of the park. I think, like I said, I think he made us forget about Deadshot with his portrayal of Bloodsport. I personally don't know a lot about Bloodsport, um, but in the trailers, Amanda Waller says Bloodsport is the person that put Superman in the ICU. Like, what? Like, you shot Superman with a kryptonite bullet? Like, that would have been something cool to see. I feel like that would have been like a little flashback scene. I think that would have been amazing to see on the big screen. But who knows? Maybe they will show that at some point. I know Henry Cavill's still on board to be Superman, and DCU apparently isn't going anywhere. So I think the especially with his performance, I think the window's there, and it's something that we could definitely see at a later time in another maybe Suicide Squad movie. Um, I think James Gunn did a really good job bringing his adult humor and adult, I guess, graphics to the big screen. Like I always tell you guys, I'm into like serious movies. That's why I'm a big serious toned movies. That's why I'm a big DC fan because the whole tone of DC is dark. It's very serious. So the fact that James Gunn was able to bring comedy to a dark movie was pretty good. I think he did a really good job. Um, as far as putting those two together. Like I mentioned before, this is not a kids movie. I do not suggest parents y'all bring kids to see this. I know it's DC and all that, but it's very, 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 very dark. It's some laughs in there, but again, it's for adults. I don't think James Gunn made this film or directed this film for children. I'm just being honest. Um, I think the story was good. I think the story was good. Um, and it was a little bit more cohesive than the first film. The first film I felt was all over the place. They tried to give characters a lot of time, but I think yeah, I don't know. It just didn't flow. It didn't mesh. This movie it flowed right. The story was consistent. It didn't deviate too much. It wasn't all over the place, and I think the cast really got along. Shout out to John Cena also. John Cena is really killing it this year. Um, didn't really love him in Fast Nine, but as Jacob, but as Peacemaker, I think he did a good job. And again, I walked into this movie not knowing a lot about Peacemaker. So I definitely was intrigued because of his performance to learn a little bit more about Peacemaker. So John Cena definitely did his thing. Um, and like I said, this movie they did a good job of throwing a big plot twist in there. Didn't see it happening. Didn't see it coming. That was a big pro for me because I was like, wow. A lot of characters die in this film too. I'm gonna be honest. So you know what I mean? If you're betting people out there, I'm sure there are betting people out there, and there's people that betted on the characters that would die, but just don't know. Just don't know. A lot of characters bit the bullet, and I'm not gonna ruin it for nobody. Not gonna ruin it for nobody. But a lot of characters bit the bullet. You heard? That's a fact. So, I mean, as far as cons are concerned, um, I just feel like it was missing something. Like it wasn't complete. Um, it just wasn't complete. And I don't like what they did. Something that bothered me the most is what they did to a particular character that died. I get attached to characters, and one particular character that died really got me tight. But it was cool because of how he went out, the way they developed that way. That's why I said that. That's why I mentioned the pro. That plot twist was a big one. Like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? So, boom. But as far as cons, like I said, I just feel like something was missing. Really can't put my finger on it. I've been jogging my mind, but I just can't really put a finger on it. But I think the biggest issue is going to be DC, Warner Brothers, not taking this thing serious. Before I get to that, I'm gonna give you my rating. I'm gonna give this movie 7 stars. Yeah, probably like really stars? 7 stars. I'm gonna be honest. Of all the DCEU movies, Suicide Squad might be top five. Might be easily in my top five. Might be four for real, for real. I'm gonna be honest. I enjoyed the movie. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was good. 7 stars. Now here's my issue with DC and Warner Brothers. I think with the original Suicide Squad movie that wasn't even that good, there was a lot of potential there. There was a lot of things y'all could have recreated. Y'all could have, had spin-offs. Y'all had a whole bunch of different lanes y'all could have do. A whole bunch of avenues y'all created because of that movie. That mashup of all those villains. That was something. This one, yeah. And with the post-credit scene that they put in there, it's the making for some shit, you heard? So I feel like, and this would be the biggest gripe. And this is what, for me, and this is what would piss me off and make me maybe drop the rating later if I hear something about they're not going to do anything with this film. But I feel like this movie was a 7. I think it was good. I think you should go check it out. I think it was a solid project. Um, I'll be honest, I was excited. I'm not going to front. Like I feel like the trailers look good the whole time. Um, and I was just really excited about the film. And it kind of, I wasn't expecting no Snyder cut, but I expected something good. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, 7 stars. I definitely think you guys should check it out. It's one of the better DC movies for me, DCEU movies for me. I'm not even gonna front. Um, yeah, I think you guys should check it out. And Warner Brothers, don't drop the ball. Restore the Snyderverse. I think Suicide Squad is perfect, and especially for someone that reads DC comics, I think this is y'all could really build on this. Y'all could really build on this, and I think Suicide Squad is kind of like fake saving DCU right now. Because again, as long as I keep Harley Quinn in the fold, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn in the fold, DC's going to remain relevant. People are going to still want to see it and be tuned in. With the introduction of Bloodsport, I think this is something else for you guys. I'm telling you. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, 7 stars. Check it out. You know what I'm saying? That's that. I'll be back again next week. I got 2 movies for y'all. We got Free Guy starring Ryan Reynolds, and we have Don't Breathe, which is a sequel to a horror movie that came out a couple years ago. I still haven't watched Don't Breathe. I haven't watched the first Don't Breathe, so I'm gonna watch that at some point this week, just so I'm caught up to what's going on in the second film. How I'm gonna spend, I don't know how I'm gonna do this weekend, but as always I'm gonna figure it out. So stay tuned. Next weekend we'll be back. 2 movies. Y'all get 2 for 1 special this weekend. That's my time. Star Jones. Over and out. Bruce Wayne. Have a good night. Appreciate y'all. Are y'all still here? Appreciate y'all for sticking around, man. But I don't got no more hookah. But what I do have is more content on my YouTube channel. So please, if you haven't done so already, hit that red button and subscribe. Hit the bell so you get notified as soon as I post anything. Alright? And if you haven't already followed me on social media, here's my information. Make sure y'all follow up. Appreciate it. Y'all still here, man. That's valid. Have a good one.